Niklas checked the chronometer embedded in his wrist. It pulsed faintly, marking not hours or minutes, but critical points in the flow of history. His coat, dark and streamlined, shimmered faintly with a reflective material designed to render him invisible to primitive optics. He adjusted the strap of his satchel, a bag more advanced than most would ever dream of, and exhaled sharply. There was no time to waste. There never was. The alert chimed, a soft, urgent note. Niklas stepped through the temporal gate, a silent tear in space-time that shimmered briefly before sealing itself. He emerged into a small, dimly lit living room. A child, no older than 6, lay curled on a threadbare couch. Her face was streaked with tears, and her tiny fingers clutched a stuffed bear with a missing ear. From his satchel, Niklas retrieved a small, hand-carved wooden box. He set it gently on the table beside the child. Inside was a kaleidoscope, primitive by his standards, but magical to her. The child would wake in the morning and peer into it, seeing colors and patterns that would spark a lifelong fascination with light and optics. Decades later, she would invent a technology that would prevent catastrophic solar flare damage, an invention critical to humanity's survival. Niklas adjusted his wrist device, activating the temporal ripple that would obscure his presence from the child's subconscious. He moved to the next point. A factory worker in 1923, fingers stained with grease and eyes dulled by exhaustion, leaned against a rusted rail during his only break. Niklas placed a book beside him on the bench, a practical guide to mechanical engineering. The worker would read it during his shifts and teach himself rudimentary design principles. 30 years later, his modifications to assembly line machinery would reduce workplace injuries by an astounding margin. Niklas departed as quietly as he arrived, the ripple sealing the event. Through countless points in history, Niklas moved. Each gift was small, an object, a nudge, an idea, but the impact was monumental. A painted rock given to a lonely girl would inspire a sculpture that galvanized a peace movement. A packet of seeds slipped into a scientist's desk would lead to breakthroughs in sustainable agriculture. Each moment was precise, orchestrated to preserve the fragile balance of human history. There could be no grand interventions, no rewriting of events. Humanity's future was precariously tethered to these moments of subtle, deliberate kindness. Niklas's final task for the evening brought him to the cramped laboratory of Dr. Yi So-yeon, a geneticist buried in a pile of research papers. She had fallen asleep at her desk, a mug of cold coffee balanced precariously near the edge. The glow of her computer screen flickered, casting long shadows across the scattered documents. From his satchel, Niklas retrieved a small, unassuming vial. The liquid inside shimmered faintly, its surface swirling with a light that seemed to defy logic. Its purpose wasn't Niklas's to understand. He only knew where and when it needed to be placed. He carefully set it among her notes, ensuring it would not tip over or draw undue attention until the right moment arrived. As he turned to leave, a soft sound caught his attention. So-yeon stirred, her eyes opening just enough to see him standing in the faint light. Her breath caught, and her gaze sharpened, teetering between confusion and alarm. Niklas exhaled and withdrew a silver pen from his coat. Its surface glinted faintly, etched with symbols that shimmered faintly under the lab's fluorescent glow. He clicked it once, and the pen emitted a flash of brilliant light. When the light faded, So-yeon was slumped back in her chair, her breathing even and untroubled. The faint trace of confusion in her expression melted away into the calm of sleep. Niklas stepped back through the temporal gate, the chronometer ticking softly. Another night's work was done.